Hey everyone, it's John here from MCKAY Hockey, back with another video, and this video is going to be 5 main potential destinations for Seth Jones. I'm going to go over some honorable mentions, just discuss. I honestly think it could be all over the place. Right now, Seth Jones, he wants out. He requested a trade. Well, not directly. He just said he's not going to re-sign. He's not going to return. So essentially, yes, saying he's going to move on. So the conversation happened. He's not going to re-sign with Columbus, so he essentially wants to get moved. And I do believe that regardless of where he gets moved, unless it's a really good scenario and he jumps in and they become like a contender and they go far, I think he tests free agency regardless. So that's going to affect the market. That's going to affect what teams want to pay, because I would imagine maybe a conditional first is in there or something, because obviously teams are going to be hesitant on making the trade if they feel like Seth Jones might just leave after a year, right? So I got some teams, maybe some contending teams, that maybe if it is more of a rental situation or a question mark situation. So Colorado, Dallas, those two teams for me I would watch out for. Colorado and Dallas both would probably need to create some cap space. I think Colorado wants to try to figure out something with that Erik Johnson situation. And then I have two actually 3 if anything, but definitely 2 in New Jersey and Detroit. And LA, obviously, rising team right now. I think they could be in that conversation. All 3 of those teams would have the assets. And then Montreal could be an interesting one. I think there's been conversations. I just don't see it, because I think it would have to be a situation where you move on from one of the big contracts, and that being probably Shea Weber. I don't know if that happens. But these are the 5 main ones. The 5 main ones in what I think is the best fit and what I think is really possible. Starting with the Chicago Blackhawks. So I think the Blackhawks have a lot of assets here where they could trade, and they're trying to improve that defense. And you have a couple of younger guys coming into the picture, whether it's a guy like Ian Mitchell, or you've seen what Boquist has done this year. So I do think Seth Jones, at 26 years old, can come in and lead this Hawks defense. So I believe Chicago's a big option there. Edmonton Oilers, okay, so they need a stud in that top 4 again, in my opinion. And I do think the defense was actually decent, but with Klefbom coming back, then Nurse on the left side, you might try to bring back Barrie. Who knows about Adam Larson? But I do believe Seth Jones. Imagine a top pair of Nurse and Seth Jones. That is sick. And I do think Edmonton wants to create a better core, a bigger core around McDavid and Draisaitl. I believe right now Seth Jones, the cap hit works out for the Oilers in terms of creating some flexibility, especially going into next year. So I think the Oilers are a good option here. All right, Philadelphia Flyers. They need the guy beside Provorov. They've been looking for it. Flyers fans have been waiting for it. I do believe the Flyers are one of the best fits here for Seth Jones. I think that's what they've been looking for, that right shot defenseman. And I do believe they have pieces, whether it's prospects up front. I do believe a guy like Morgan Frost could be in this trade. I do believe, based on the rumors right now of Nolan Patrick wanting out, I do believe Nolan Patrick could be part of this trade as well. So look out for that. Winnipeg Jets, they've been looking for those guys on that right side since moving on from Byfuglien, Myers. Obviously, they traded Trouba, got Pionk back. So I do believe, looking forward, having 3 guys in the top 4 of Morrissey, Seth Jones, and Pionk would be really solid. So I do believe the Jets are going to look at Seth Jones in the offseason. And the Vancouver Canucks. So I think a couple Canadian teams could be in on this. And I do believe with the Canucks, it's one of those situations where they have a lot of young guys, a lot of young prospects up front. They have a good top 6 when healthy. The defense is an issue there. And Myers, obviously the overpayment there. Edler's going to be retiring soon, moving on. And then Nate Schmidt, is he a long-term piece for the Canucks? And then obviously you have Quinn Hughes. So Hamonic's a question mark there. I think Seth Jones would be a great fit on that right side. Doesn't necessarily have to play with Quinn Hughes. You could get a better, like, just strictly defensive guy to play with Hughes, and then you could have a second pair, or even just consider the top pair of Schmidt and Seth Jones. But I do believe the Canucks are a good fit here. So let me know what you think. I think there's a lot of teams that are going to check in on Seth Jones at the very least. This one was a tough one. I think you guys drop comments in the chat or in the comments on Twitter, whatever you want to send me, if it's proposals or ideas that I can kind of run with. I'm going to think over the next couple weeks on some trade proposal specific ones. So we'll make like another video of like mock trades for Seth Jones. We'll also be making some like videos on like trades that can happen this offseason. So Seth Jones will probably be in there. But these are some destinations and some ideas. So let me know what you think. Subscribe, like, and comment. This was John from MCKAY Hockey. Have a good one. Peace out.